Virgilio, and today I want to talk to you about the occupational hazards. We're going to see a quick video right now, and the purpose of this speech is for me to persuade you that it's your responsibility to increase or decrease jobs in California. It doesn't have to have a volume. Thank you. As you can see in the video, robots like the one we saw in this video will eventually replace a lot of our works, like such as warehouse people, such as mechanics, creators of vehicles, or office assistants, or even doctors, believe it or not. Today, I would like to talk to you about how using the self-checkouts will affect people's life. And also, I would like to show you several examples of stores that even they close or they will be closing down soon. After that, I'll be showing you, and last I'll be showing you what can you do to prevent this from happening. Let me first begin with how using self-checkouts will affect people's life. Well, first, you can leave people without a job. Second, you can leave people homeless due to not having enough money or having zero income to pay their rent or their mortgage. Or preventing people from having health insurance, life insurance, retirement, vacations, sick time, and things like that. Also creating unemployment, more cases in unemployment. Why? Again, because we're always in a rush and we try to, hey, let me do the self-checkout and not thinking, what's going to happen after that? Maybe now I'm preventing somebody from having a job. We also increase the government assistance. People go and get health benefits, they get CalFresh or food stamps, they also get welfare. So things like that, who's paying for that? So if we think ahead, we also think, okay, we all are paying for those benefits and those support for them. With that being said, and after my research, let me show you a couple stores that were closing down. Remember Blockbusters? How many of you remember that? Okay, so now we have the big fridge, right? The red fridge, I call it, which is Netflix. Blockbuster closed down a long time ago. And we also have places like Toys R Us. Now we buy everything online. Trust me, I love Amazon, but a lot of these stores are closing down because we all purchase online. Mervyn's. I mean, I used to love shop there, and now we're not, it's not even available. And now, according to the HeroEdge.com, occupational hazards like this will show us the percentage or the high-risk percentage of several different job descriptions that they're going to increase by 2030. So that's showing you here the construction, manufacturer, administrative support, and all that is showing you how it's going to increase because obviously we're going to decrease on workers. And now, last but not least, there is several things you can do to prevent this. One can be that every time you go to a store, try to choose try to avoid the checkout machines, and by doing this, you automatically will be creating more jobs or even maybe increasing more hours for those people that already have a job. Like even Target. I have a cousin that works at Target. She's part-time worker there, and believe it or not, in the last couple of years, her hours decrease and she's only on call because they just waiting for, you know, to have a couple more registers available. So now they open more registers that are machines, but not human beings. So put yourself on their shoes. Also, when you go to places like Panera Bread or Costco, recently put like a big table with 6 computers, and when you go and order food, you have the two options. You can go to the line on the register, or you can also choose the food on the iPads. So when you go there, you know, try to go to the register. Also, when you go to a restaurant, try to order with the waitress and not with the iPad. That's gonna really help conserve their jobs. In conclusion, I went over several things. First, how using the checkout machines will affect people's lives. Second, I show you several examples of the stores that closed down, and also how can you avoid this or prevent it. And remember, the next time you go to the store, it is your choice to create more work and help people continuing either working or increase their hours and not ending up being like this. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, because I use half the bag getting them over here.
Oh my God. Well, we know you're not a good trainer.
She's a half of the tree.
Finally, we sit somewhere else.
Okay, let's go.
Well, how do you put your
Wait,
name
how do I
on?
turn this on?
Need somebody to run it too.
Yeah.
You want to change your face?
They should get like those clicker things.
Yeah, you should get one of those bigger things.
It's ready now, it's ready.
You ready, Professor Johnson?
I am ready when you are.
Oh. Summertime. Alright, let me know when we're at. It's supposed to be 4 minutes?
6.
6 minutes?
They're all 6.
Alright, cool. Just making sure, just making sure.
Right?
5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
5.5 to 6.5.
Alright, let me know what I'm at.
You just said it's 5 to 6 on the rubric.
Alright, I'm gonna start. Ready?
Go.
Alright, good evening, class. My name is Juan. This is my best friend, Jax. And, well, I got Jax about 3 months ago from a shelter. I adopted him and he changed my life. So I'm gonna be basically telling you guys why to adopt pets and why each and every single one of you guys should go out tomorrow and go get one. Go get a pet, go get a best friend, go get yourself a Jax. So just imagine seeing a puppy locked up behind a fence looking at you with what we call puppy eyes, trying to tell you to help me, get me out of here, I don't want to be in here. What did I do to get in here? So what I did to basically help myself write this speech, I went to animal shelters and I saw these animals and I saw how desperately they want to get out. They're asking for people like you guys to come in and adopt them. So what I'm going to be showing you is a couple of pictures of before and afters of pets that were in shelters and when they got adopted. There you go. And another one. There you go. What's not there? There's another one. I didn't take a picture of when I got him. I just took a picture when he was home. But did you guys know that approximately 6.5 billion animal shelters, well, animals enter animal shelters each year, and this is according to ASPCA. And out of those, 1.5 million are euthanized. They're put down. Dogs like Jax are being killed, slaughtered every year, millions. Well, at least 3.2 million of them are adopted, but I believe we should get that number higher. Get as many dogs and cats adopted so that we have space for new dogs coming in, new cats coming in, so that we can keep giving them their forever homes. Pets, they're your best friends. You know, they'll always be there when you're sad, you're happy, you always, you know, you have good times with them. They always are there to like bring you up, and well, at least that's for my case. So he's always there to cheer me up when I'm sad, or you know, he's always there to mess around with me. I wake up and the first thing he does is he comes to my bed. And so I think that every single one of us should go out and adopt a pet. Give them a forever home. Show them the love that they've been missing. Show them what love is. And like I said, these animal shelters, they don't have space for all these pets coming in and coming in and coming in. So they begin to euthanize to provide space for upcoming, you know, they give them a date. If they're not adopted by this date, they euthanize them. So I ask you guys, what would you guys do if you guys saw pets being euthanized? Millions and millions, you guys saw them. They're being killed. And what do? You know, they're innocent. Dogs are innocent. You know, I believe that there's no bad dogs. It's just bad owners. Go to the next one. There's another dog. That one, I was reading about this dog. He got abused. Someone adopted him and gave him his forever home. So, as you can see, I don't know if you guys been aware, there's dogs being killed every single day, and you know, we are the people, us in this room. We're the ones who can save them. Go out to your local shelter, adopt a pet, give it that forever home. I don't know what you can lose. There's nothing you can lose. You're just gonna gain a companion. You know, someone who you can make happy, who you're gonna make happy, and he's gonna make you happy, or her. So, all these dogs, they're caged up, and each and every single one of you has that key to unlock them and free them and show them what love is. Me and Jax, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's clapping it?
Stop.
So, why should we care? Why should we care if dogs are put down?
What?
Are you serious? Yes, why should?
You're a dog person?
There's 1 million cows that are killed every year.
You know,
There's 1 million sheep that are
Yeah,
killed
they're
every year.
used like dogs.
Chickens.
You know, that's how you eat. They milk them, but dogs are companions. You know, they're
Dogs
your
are
best friend.
companions because you dictate them as a companion. You go to another country, they're a food source just like anywhere else. Yep. They're a food source where people will take them, put them on a barbecue grill, put some seasoning on them.
But do you think that's right?
It's as right as eating a cow.
No.
No, it's not.
Why is a cow different?
Where can you're gonna put a cow in a barn? You're not gonna put them in your backyard or your house. You know, this is like a special bond you build between you
I
and
put
dog.
a dog in a kennel.
But that's different. So at your house.
Why is it different?
Because they're abnormally large and they're
Okay,
used as food
so
sources.
the size of the animal should dictate whether
No.
we should love it or not. Some dogs are.
I know, but they,
Why shouldn't they be?
because that's messed up.
Why?
'Cause they're-
Do you eat steak?
Sometimes,
Okay, do you eat chicken?
yes,
Fish?
yes.
Okay, so why aren't those animals' lives any more precious than a dog's?
They are. Pet fish or pet
You
cow.
raised them.
See? That's
I
right.
tried, hey, do you have a barn?
Huh?
Do you have a barn? He
I have
doesn't
a kennel.
Oh. I tried to be a vegan.
I'm
It
gonna
didn't
work,
say.
okay?
Well, I'm just saying, why separate a dog from any other animal? What makes a dog so special? It's 4 legs, just like it's like a miniature cow.
Look,
They're
can a cow do this?
Sure.
Cows kill people more than sharks.
What do you mean?
Like, it's a statistic, look it up.
No, you need to give us a source if you're gonna do that.
Okay.
What is the one? Okay, so there are 3 methods of persuasion. What are they? We talked about ethos, pathos, and what?
Logos.
Logos. What is the one that I say you cannot use alone?
Ethos. Or no,
Oh,
pathos.
emotions.
Says right here.
Yes. And which one did you use by itself?
No, but I used ethos for credibility that I went to animal shelters and I saw.
That's not That's not
I don't
ethos.
think I have that.
Ethos is what makes you an expert. Why should we listen to
Because
you?
I adopted one.
It makes you an expert.
'Cause I
Did you
adopted one
find
and I
our
seen that process.
ABC News? Yeah.
So I stayed in the Holiday Inn.
What?
What I'm saying is, it doesn't make you an expert. So if
But I have statistics.
So,
Hold on.
I would not be, if I was gonna give a speech on Disneyland, I couldn't say that, well, I went there one time, so that makes me an expert and I can talk about it.
What if I worked there before?
What if you what?
Worked there.
If you worked there,
Well,
that'd be a different
Oh,
story.
I forgot to say, no, I actually volunteer at shelters. I'm not even lying to you.
Nice try.
I'm being for real.
Well, is that the speech is over? Clock
Yeah,
stop.
I forgot to say
Yes.
that.
And according to ABC News, cows may look docile, but they kill more than 5 times the number of people that sharks do. Using statistics from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, one research study reported an average of 22 deaths a year by bovines, typically due to stomping or goring.
Okay, so sharks kill 1 or 2 people a year. Oh, okay, since we're on that topic, look at how many people dogs kill.
Come here. Come here.
Because I can tell you it's more than cows.
Is that recording?
Yep.
A few dogs are reporting you to the ASPCA.
They can't do anything.
Yes, they
I
can.
could shoot a dog right in front of them, barbecue it and eat it, and they could not do anything.
It's called animal cruelty.
Yes, here. They can't, no, it's not. It's not cool to shoot a dog.
It should be.
People do it all the time.
So you're
Alright,
saying
well,
that
it's on
you go to
you,
a
you
shelter, you adopt one?
Whatever's clever, yeah,
That's
that'd be
And
fine.
then
You want me to give you the 5 minutes, Mark?
They will not say anything. They can't say
Six
anything.
months, that'd be fresh.
And they call the cops, they can't say anything, right?
Cops can't say anything. I could shoot a dog.
They
The
gotta
only thing you can do, like, if you're shooting off a fire alarm in city limits, they may can get you on something like that. But if it's legal where you're at to shoot off a weapon, you can shoot a dog and eat it.
Alright, Mr. Cooper, you ready?
Are you ready?
Okay.
Ready? Okay, cool, let's rock and roll. Good evening, Professor Johnson and classmates of COM 1. Last speech. Yeah, give yourselves a hand.
question.
Yeah! Yeah! Take it! Hey, my name is Aaron Cooper, and it's an honor to stand here before you today and give you a plethora of information on an issue that's near and dear to my heart. And I'm sure after this conversation today that it will be in yours as well, that smaller class sizes are amazing. That's what we'll be talking about today. I've done extensive research on smaller class sizes, and I've discovered that, one, students receive more individual attention from teachers in a smaller class size. Two, teachers have great order or a greater order in classrooms that have a smaller class size. And of course, three, there are greater opportunities for class discussion and small group work in a smaller class size. Now when I think about the positive impact that a smaller class size can have, my mind keeps coming back to our class, COM 1. I think about when we started. We started back in August, and we were 30 deep up in here, you know, and we didn't really take the time to get to know each other. We weren't really talking to each other, and it was Professor Johnson doing all of the talking. And it seems like we just all wanted to blend into the large class environment and just wait for it to get over. And, you know, that never showed as much as when we had our first assignment. When we had our first assignment, instead of gelling together, many of the students dropped the class, regardless of how it affected the professor and the remaining students. Yeah, our class size went from 30 plus to, what were we at, 14? 15. But have no fear, which according to the graph, if you look at this graph right here, yeah, I wanted to use this right here. If you look at the graph right here, you'll notice that that graph shows that we are right in the middle of the class size that has the highest test scores for doing well in class, on standardized tests, and on scholarship exams. And I'm sure we can all agree that we won't mind getting a higher grade or score on any exams, right? Which brings me to my first point. It also gets more attention from our professors. We get more attention from them. In a small class environment, we can have more time with the professors to get items explained and establish a better rapport with them than we ever could have in that 30-plus class. We probably wouldn't have gotten any emails back or got some of the leeway that we had if we were such a large class. Boardteachers.com, yes, that is the website, states that this one-on-one time with a professor inspires students, and the professor takes on a role of more than just another teacher, but a genuine role model that can be trusted. And in this day and age, let's be honest, we all need more of that and less drama, right? Less drama, which leads me to my next point. Teachers have greater order in the classroom that has a smaller class size. Now, 9 out of 10 times, there's always a knucklehead in the classroom. Someone that wants to disrupt the class, cause the teacher some stress. Yeah, if you don't know what it is, it's probably you. And the teacher, they want to stress the teacher out and stop the creative juice from flowing forward. A smaller class size can prevent the knucklehead from taking over the class. Instead, it'll make him or her open up the books and get down to business when really think about it, in the long run, he'll probably wind up thanking the teacher for it because he doesn't have to take the class for the 5th time. 5th time. Y'all get that later. Y'all get that later. Now, as a matter of fact, the Seattle Times states that it's harder for a couple of troublemakers in the back of the room to derail the class when they don't have a place to hide in the crowd. Yeah. Small class sizes let everyone know that it's time for, really time out for hiding and running from education. Smaller class sizes like this one, right, tells everyone that you're now being held accountable to go get a better way of life, which includes a solid education. And that brings me to my third point on why small class sizes are awesome. There are greater opportunities for class discussions and small group work in smaller class sizes. Now, in a class of 30-plus students, it seems that there's always someone that is bound to get lost or drift away. And it's not that that cannot happen in a small class size, it's just that it's more prevalent and to happen in a larger class. This is partly due to the class will be able to have small group work going on. This will direct the student to participate rather than zoning out. We know about that zoning out and going into a corner. Per the boardteachers.com, again, small classes will allow the student to engage in group discussion that will help form bonds with others. And in my opinion, this will create a long-term effect that will help our community gel as well. Now, as I close, I touched on small classes are awesome because students receive more individual attention from the teachers. Teachers have greater order in the classroom, and there are wonderful opportunities for class discussion. We, here in Column 1, have experienced all of this and more right in this small class. We've been able to get to know the Renaissance man and allow him to know us, right? We've sparked great discussion, dicey debates, and big laughs right here in this class. We shared each other's pains, making it our own. And through it all, we've molded it into a true story in this small class. So Column 1, bigger is not always better. Someone once said, big things come in small packages, like this small class, where these good people are going to do great things because they started off small. Peace to you. Thank you. All right. Let me point at this again. Did you guys see this? Did y'all see that right there? Let me point at it again. All right. Come on.
Next.
I like your
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget it, 'cause I'm with that.
We're not beating that.
Let's go, Amber.
There you go, my girl. Let's go. Let's go.
How are you, Vanessa?
What's up, V?
Oh my gosh. You're tired.
Let's go, V. All good. I ain't got no parade.
Yeah, hold on.
Dang.
You want me to sign in?
What's going on, bro?
You got it? Okay.
Hey, ready?
Let's go, man, bro.
Since I can't give you guys any questions anymore.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Yeah.
What happened?
And she's not confused.
Okay, that's better. Okay, everyone, speech.
Hi class, I'm Amber. Today we'll be talking to you guys about animal testing for makeup products. So I just want to warn you guys that some of these pictures are a little graphic, but I try to keep it at least graphic because if I can't look at it, how can I expect you guys to look at it? So every day we see people, or we are the people, that use makeup. Makeup is something great. I believe that it enhances beauty that is already there. However, the not so beautiful side is how some companies do test their products. Can you change this slide? If you look behind me, you see a mice and a rabbit. It's not that great of a sight, so just like I said earlier, I'm sorry guys. I use makeup daily and I have researched companies that use the products that I use and others to see if they are cruelty free, and I have also done extensive research. First, I will tell you guys how some animals are being tested, which companies are cruelty free and how to identify if they are or not, and the alternatives instead of using animals. So what kind of tests according to the Humane Society? The first one is skin and eye irritation. It's where chemicals are rubbed onto the shaved skin or dripped into the eyes of restrained rabbits and mice without any pain relief. So these animals are being tested on, and they go through all the pain and all the eye irritation and all the skin burning with nothing, no anesthetics, no anything. Next slide. And another one is repeated force feeding, which is how they have the rabbits set up by the necks and they force food down. And it's studies that last weeks or months to look for signs of general illness or specific health hazards such as cancers or birth defects. Next slide. And then you have your widely condemned lethal dose test, in which animals are forced to swallow large amounts of test chemicals.
How are you, Vanessa?
What's up, V?
Oh my gosh. You're tired.
Let's go, V. Oh, good. I ain't got no parade.
Yeah, hold on.
Man,
Do you want me to chime in?
let's go ahead, bro.
You got it? Okay.
Okay, ready?
Don't press me now.
Let's go ahead, bro.
Since I can't give you guys any questions anymore.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Yeah.
What happened?
And she's not confused.
Okay, that's better. Okay, everyone, speech.
Hi class, I'm Amber. Today we'll be talking to you guys about animal testing for makeup products. So I just want to warn you guys that some of these pictures are a little graphic, but I try to keep it at least graphic because if I can't look at it, how can I expect you guys to look at it? So every day we see people, or we are the people, that use makeup. Makeup is something great. I believe that it enhances beauty that is already there. However, the not so beautiful side is how some companies do test their products. Can you change this slide? If you look behind me, you see a mice and a rabbit. It's not that great of a sight, so just like I said earlier, I'm sorry guys. I use makeup daily and I have researched companies that use the products that I use and others to see if they are cruelty free, and I have also done extensive research. First, I will tell you guys how some animals are being tested, which companies are cruelty free, and how to identify if they are or not, and the alternatives instead of using animals. So what kind of tests according to the Humane Society? The first one is skin and eye irritation. It's where chemicals are rubbed onto the shaved skin or dripped into the eyes of restrained rabbits and mice without any pain relief. So these animals are being tested on, and they go through all the pain and all the eye irritation and all the skin burning with nothing, no anesthetics, no anything. Next slide. And another one is repeated force feeding, which is how they have the rabbits set up by the necks and they force food down. And it's studies that last weeks or months to look for signs of general illness or specific health hazards such as cancers or birth defects. Next slide. And then you have your widely condemned lethal dose test, in which animals are forced to swallow large amounts of test chemicals.
Nope.
It's really hard.
19 students.
You got a PowerPoint?
Yes, I do.
Okay, put it on. No, never mind. We'll wait. You're
Last. We'll go last.
Ready? Hello everyone, my name is Marina Moreno, as you probably already know. I'm going to be talking to you today about vaccines. Before vaccines, children were being encapsulated in big machines that helped them breathe because of polio. And babies were born with birth defects due to rubella. These are just two of the diseases that cause extensive damage, and this was the outcome for most children that lived before vaccines were created. In 1796, Edward Jenner founded the vaccine after he inoculated a 13-year-old boy with the vaccinia virus cowpox, and the child demonstrated immunity to the virus. Today I will be talking to you about why vaccines are important for our children and for global health, why some reasons aren't enough for vaccination non-compliance, and what can happen if more people start refusing to vaccinate. After extensive research, I have become aware of how important it is for children to be vaccinated, and I hope this will influence the way you feel about vaccines. Yeah. It is important for parents and guardians to vaccinate their children for the well-being of the child and those around them. Children today are becoming ill due to preventable diseases. A Shot at Life, a United Nations Foundation partner organization, states that vaccines save 2.5 million children from preventable diseases each year. More than 15,000 Americans died from diphtheria in 1921 before there was a vaccine. Only 2 cases of diphtheria have been reported to the CDC between 2004 and 2014. According to Alan Hinman, author of Vaccine Preventable Diseases, Immunizations, and Epidemic Intelligence Service, vaccination has made an enormous contribution to global health. 2 major infections such as smallpox and rinderpest have therefore been eradicated. Yet people are still delaying vaccinations for their children or avoiding them altogether. Why is that? Parents claim it is because of religion reasons they choose not to vaccinate their children, or lack of trust in the government and pharmaceutical companies. But one of the biggest reasons is the belief that vaccinations cause autism. A study published in The Lancet linked the MMR vaccine and the development of irritable bowel disease to autism. It was later discovered that the lead author fabricated information to his patients about the findings in his study, and there is no evidence that in fact vaccines do cause autism. I often hear people say things like, if everyone else is vaccinated, then my child doesn't have to be. I'm going to tell you why that is incorrect and what will happen if more people start thinking like that. Let's talk about herd immunity. When a large population is immunized, unvaccinated individuals benefit from herd immunity, which is a reduced risk of exposure to pathogens. Consequently, children's health has improved and the quality of length of their lives has increased. Let me break down herd immunity a little bit more for you guys. Most vaccine preventable diseases are spread from person to person. If one person in a community gets an infectious disease, he can spread it to others who are not immune. But a person who is immune to the disease, because he or she has been vaccinated, can't get the disease and can't spread it to others. The more people who are vaccinated, the fewer opportunities the disease has to spread. And this is why vaccines are important also for global health. According to Celie Ventola, the author of Immunization in the United States, recommendations, barriers, and measures to improve compliance, despite the widespread availability of vaccines, multiple resurgences of measles, rubella, mumps, and pertussis have occurred in the 1980s. The resurgences have been attributed to various cases, including refusal to vaccinate, incomplete vaccination series, and imported cases. In conclusion, I have talked to you about why vaccines are important, why some reasons are not enough for vaccination non-compliance, and what can happen if more people stop vaccinating. Vaccines prevent disease outbreaks. Not getting vaccinated can lead to unwanted epidemics and death. Vaccinating children should be mandatory. Inform yourself about vaccines. With all this in mind, think about yourself, your children, your nieces and nephews, your brothers and sisters, and push to make vaccines mandatory. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty then. I'm ready.
Okay. Hello, my name is Elena Lopez. So imagine being diagnosed with a terminal illness. You are only given months to live. You decide to cherish the time you have left, however, you are bound to a hospital bed. You're hooked up to many machines and you are in pain. Excruciating pain from that comes with dying a slow death. Wouldn't you like control of your life? Control over how much pain you will endure? The death with dignity laws can give you that control. After intensely researching this topic for 3 weeks, I can confidently say that I support the death with dignity laws. Today we will discuss what the death with dignity laws are, the process to exercise these laws, and why they are important. So what are the death with dignity laws? These laws allow qualified, terminally ill adults to voluntarily request and receive a prescription medication to hasten their death. These laws stem from the idea that it is the terminally ill patients who should make their end-of-life decisions and determine how much pain and suffering they should endure. By adding a voluntary option to the selection of end-of-life care, these laws give patients dignity, control, and peace of mind during their final days of loved ones. Currently, there are 7 locations that approved the death with dignity laws. These are California, Colorado, Washington, D.C., Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. The first to do so was Oregon in 1997. The death with dignity process is robust. First, the patient must meet the basic following requirements. They must be a resident of a state which has death with dignity laws. They must be 18 years of age or older. They must be mentally competent and capable of making and communicating their healthcare decisions, must be able to self-administer and ingest the prescribed medication, and must be diagnosed with a terminal illness that will lead to death within 6 months. 2 physicians must confirm these requirements have been met. To begin, an oral request to practice the death with dignity laws must be made. Then one must wait a minimum of 15 days before making the second oral request before the physician will prescribe the medication. It is important to remember that the decision stays with the patient, and they can choose to stop the process at any time. As you can see here, each year there are patients who choose to not take the life-ending drug even after they have been prescribed. This chart shows data collected in Oregon, which is the state with the most up-to-date data. California's most recent data report is from 2016. In that report, it shows that 191 individuals had the prescription prescribed, but only 111 ingested the drug. The next chart shows that the death with dignity laws are most commonly used with the diagnoses of malignant neoplasms, which is cancer, and the percentages of different types of cancer used under these laws. So there are many reasons why I support the death with dignity laws. First of all, these laws give a dying person a chance to end their pain and suffering when there is no hope for relief. Some terminal illnesses leave patients in unbearable pain during their final days. According to an article by Very Well Health, up to 35% of patients describe their pain in their last weeks of life as severe or intolerable, and half of the people dying from cancer have severe pain. I believe a person should have the right to control their life and how much suffering they have to go through. Secondly, it gives patients the opportunity to die without the fear that they will lose physical or mental capacities and for them to endure a less traumatic death. Incapacitation is when a person is impaired by a mental and or physical deficiency to the extent that he or she lacks sufficient understanding to
to make rational decisions, or to engage in responsible actions, according to Business Dictionary. This is not only difficult for the patient to endure, but also for the families and loved ones to witness. Also, these laws allow patients to arrange for final goodbyes with loved ones, and it can reduce the overall financial burden to the family. Being able to plan this unfortunately inevitable situation can give a person some control when they have no control over anything else. In addition, if planned for in advance, the organs can be harvested for donation. Many people would like for their deaths to be meaningful and impactful. Donating their organs could save several people's lives and could bring peace and value to their death. California actually has the most registered donors in the country at over 12 million people. According to Fox News, there are over 123,000 people currently waiting for transplants, and 21 people die every day waiting for organs. And finally, the right to die should be a matter of personal choice in terminal situations. A person's own body should be under their control and no one else's. But please remember, by supporting the death with dignity laws, you are not saying that everyone should practice these laws, but rather saying that they should be available. In conclusion, I fully support the death with dignity laws. We have discussed what these laws are, the process of exercising these laws, and the importance of them. Death with dignity laws allow terminally ill patients who have 6 months or less to live the option of ending their life. The process is meticulous and requires multiple requests and certain waiting periods. These laws can provide control, relief, and comfort to those with terminal illnesses. America is the land of freedom, and I believe one should be free to have